All right. Thanks for coming back. It's episode 2, and it's not the episode 2 I planned. I had this thing about getting into the shed, and the whole video would be about me getting back to it and just trying to find all my camera gear and trying to work against the excuse that it's down the back of the property. It's in that shed, that dilapidated shed, and it's too far to go. Well, needless to say, I did a lot of cuts, did a lot of scenes. I hit the record button several times on this rig, and actually I turned it off, so I didn't record half the stuff I wanted. I think there were about 8 different scenes. I also had this idea of because of the emotional content and the excuses I made to get back into the shed and get back to my photography gear. I wanted that look, where you get that. You get the rig and it's attached to the actor snorri cam, and it runs around, and it's sort of like, it's totally locked on their face, and everything else is all jaggedy and moving around behind them, and it's all just chaos and all these inputs, and everyone's looking around, and I wanted that sort of theme. But you know what? I think it was a little bit too ambitious for a guy who's only just dabbled a little bit in video. His only real excuse was about 5 years ago, buying some bits and pieces to try and turn his old DSLR into a video rig. And, life and family they didn't get in the way. They became my priority. And, photography I put to the side. I shot less weddings alongside primary photographers and very good friends of mine. I shot less product photography. I just stopped carrying my camera around for even the most simplest of reasons, to just capture a day out with my family. The year in this house hasn't been the great escape. We've always had, like, let's go back a bit. Like, was it 2.5 years ago? It was February 2023. We jumped onto an airplane in Melbourne, Australia, and we made that big step to move to the UK. For my wife, it's her home. For me, it's a new adventure. I'd come here for work for years on end. But it's a lot different when you move into a place. The reality is very, very mixed. So, always try to hold to the belief that the move would be fraught with adjustments, and if we didn't like something, once we understood why, we'd adjust. So moved into my mother-in-law's place, and then moved out to St. Albans. Now, if anyone knows Melbourne, St. Albans there is a lot more shanky than the St. Albans here. It's a beautiful little town. It's a beautiful city. But it's required quite a huge change of pace. It's come under a bit of financial strain, but we've managed to jump through those hoops and and come out the other side. So this house that we moved in, house number 2, is I would say it's not exactly working. It's cold, it's damp. We can barely get the heat over 20 degrees. I blew out all the radiators, vacuumed them up. They are working the absolute best that they can. And this winter I've managed to, get it working, but 20 degrees is man, I'm lucky if that thing that mark, that 20-degree mark comes around if the heating's been running all day. I'm lucky if we get that by 6 p.m. So it's as we say, it's a shit house. Right at the moment, we've got a new kitchen going in. There's a lot of back and forth and to and fro and just having to justify what we do in the house to the realtor, and ultimately what we believe is the landlord, to fix mold problems, issues with leaks, the shed where the wall, one of the long walls where the door and the windows are, is not even joined to the bottom of the frame, and immediately under that, the floor is all rotted away. I've done my best to try and repair it, but it's a little bit beyond my means. So trying to get someone to get to that, what a hell of a thing, and kind of sick of it. Sick of the administration involved with a house that you should be able to just enjoy. And anyway, here we are. We 2 years ago, a house came up, and like it was a curiosity back then, but we weren't in a position to move in. We'd just moved into the first place that we had, just off Hollywell Hill, and just couldn't move. We were beyond the. We didn't have a clause to get out of it. I forget what it's called. Wow, you can tell me in the comments, or I'm going to look it up. But we couldn't move into that place, and it was an interesting. We tried to find it by walking around the streets that it could have been in. Could not find it. As we found out, it's in a walled off area, historical portion of the city. But it came up again. We managed to make it out of contract, go to rolling terms on this place, and here's the opportunity. So this week I've done visa admin. I've done that application last night. Last night, my car broke down on the M25. I think it's a throttle body issue. So once I can get my car around to the front here, and it will move. It's a very intermittent fault. It's a throttle body issue, but I think from what I've been able to find, it might be 1 to 4 wires that are not contacting anymore on the throttle body circuit board. So I'm going to try and get into that. It's six little bolts. Powell from the AA, amazing guy. We got that hooked up on the M25. He managed to get me. I think we did about 3 miles before limp mode just, well, it put its foot down and kept its place. But that guy ended up, he ended up running interference behind me while I tried to get that working. And we thought we could get it all the way back, but he was going to follow me all the way back to St. Albans regardless. Anyway, hooked me up, ended up towing me home. And dude was, man, amazing, absolutely amazing. But I think I've got a better idea as to how to approach it. I do have a new throttle body on order at the moment, but I might not see it till tomorrow. Look, whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna bring it around a little bit later on, have a look at it, and clean it up if it needs to. We'll see how we go. Anyway. That's just the last few days. This shit house, because of the kitchen being worked on, we've got all the kitchen stuff in the living room. Week before last, I readjusted everything in the living room to make some space. Not because of that, but because we just wanted a little bit of change. I managed to make this extra space in here just by moving the dining table, and it became a little bit more cozier. I was actually quite satisfied with it. But hey, now everything in there is out here. We thought we were going to lose everything in the kitchen, but that's not the case. The kitchen is, we've got the everything but the upper cabinets, which were all useless anyway because the doors were all falling off when we moved in. There was mold behind the walls. The guys have cleaned that up. They put a new roof in place because the bathroom was leaking last year, and it's taken so long to get the real estate agents to just pull their finger out and make the executive decision to repair the property that they should be the stewards of. Man, this video is turning into a rant. Anyway, I guess the whole thing about this video is, hey, life got in the way. Life got in the way. And photography, my love, I put it aside for the excuses of life. And I forgot to get back to my hobby, my passion, my little meditation. Be it shooting flowers in the backyard on a macro, or volunteering for a charity event like Help Portrait, or just getting to hang out with my friends at a wedding, shooting a wedding for a Saturday, and the road trips that entailed. Sonia, Pep, you know who I'm talking about. I miss you guys. So, yeah, I put photography away for all the excuses that life prioritized, or forced me to think I needed to prioritize ahead of it. And part of the channel will be me going through the photographs that I took, why I took them. Some of them aren't very special photographs at all, but they speak from the heart. They're meaningful to me because of the context and the story that they remind me of, the people, the places, the things. And the whole channel it's not going to be about gear. It's always going to be a factor. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to be a factor in it. You can't ignore it. You can't not shoot a photograph without a camera. But also at the same time, if I think back to, wow, what was it? Around 2010 or so, I remember Chase Jarvis putting up this tag that said, the best camera is the one that's with you. And hey, my dates might be way out. I'm terrible on that sort of stuff. But back then, it was an iPhone 3. That was the best camera that you had at the time. That was the one that was with you. And I took a lot of photographs back then. That was I think it was like 2012 when, no, it would have been like 2012 with the iPhone 3. Hey, regardless, it's not about the gear. It's what you got with you. You could be shooting on a big old 1D like I'm shooting now. You can shoot on a GoPro. You can shoot on your phone. Where's my phone? It's in my, you can shoot with that. Doesn't matter. You can buy an old secondhand 1D Mark II, which was one of my favorites for the longest time. You could grab an old 5D, which still shoots an awesome image, and you can use that. And there's so many different options to edit these photographs these days. There's no real excuse. You know, my favorite lens, because I got into that shed, you know, 3 times to unpack it and grab all my gear and lenses. Like this little lens right here, that little lens is a 28mm 1.8 Canon lens. It's cheap as chips. It's probably one of my favorite storytelling lenses because it's not an intimidating lens. Against the 1D, it's sort of dwarfed, but it kind of fits it as well. It's a great little storytelling lens. You can shoot close, you can shoot far, you can shoot landscapes, you can shoot portraits. You can do all sorts of fun things with it, but it doesn't get in the way. You don't have to heft it up. It's yeah, you know, it was good to get into that shed and try and shoot. You know, I shot on the 1D, I shot on the GoPro, I shot on my phone. At the moment, for this channel, I'm thinking the 1D, maybe an older EOS M, or my phone are going to be my go-tos. This whole week of trying to get a video released on Sunday evenings. My God, there's so much crap in here. To get this a video released every Sunday, it didn't work this time, but here's the video now. So look, I hope you enjoy it. I've got a day of repairs to try and do. If I can get back on the road reliably, then I'm going to be in a very, very sweet spot. Otherwise, new throttle body when it arrives in the next couple of days, and we're all good. Yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in for episode 2. I'm not promising you. I'm going to promise myself that I'll try and shoot a video every week. It'll give me an excuse to work on my editing. It definitely will. It'll give me an excuse to learn about my stuff again and know how it all works. And yeah, I guess at the heart of it, if you're going to follow me on this journey, you'll learn a lot along the way, but start doing it for yourself. That's all I've got to say. If you like the message, do the thing on the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.